So often I witness, and I do this myself too, trying to solve a problem with the same thoughts that created that problem to begin with. This week and into next week, so if you're listening to this in real time, January 2023, we're hosting a decluttering challenge on Instagram. And so far, all I've asked for people to declutter is like the things, right? And like subtle invitations into decluttering the mind. But when we ask ourselves, how did I end up with this stuff? How did it end up like this to begin with? We start to think back to the actual like chain of events that occurred. And that brings us into the same questions, the same feelings, the same thoughts that created the decision that resulted in the thing you're looking at right now. So, to cast a different way forward, when you're decluttering your home, your mind, your energy, it requires a different kind of question, a different sense of energy, and a different way of looking at whatever it is you're decluttering in order to get the result that you want. And that's what we're talking about on today's podcast episode. We know that you were born magical. We know that you are intuitive, and we know that you are brimming with everyday enchantment. Here at the Sisters Enchanted, we believe in intention, we believe in intuition, and we believe in everyday magic. Welcome in to the Expedition to Soul podcast. Welcome to the Expedition to Soul podcast. I'm Sarah, founder of the Sisters Enchanted. We've been bringing intention, intuition, and everyday magic to the masses since 2016. Do y'all know we've had over 700,000 podcast downloads? Over 700,000. That just seems wild to me that we've reached, just that many episodes and minutes and thoughts and ideas and teachings, and I think that's so, so cool. I and this week, like I said, we are talking about decluttering. And when you are decluttering, I know that we declutter just to clean stuff up, right? To get rid of the things we aren't using, to create more living space, to see what we have so we can better use it. And I think that what can happen with decluttering is we look at it as this just cleaning thing that we're doing. But the act of decluttering, it's actually like an energetic statement. It's an energetic call to action that you are making in your life for what it is that you'll create space for and what you won't create space for. And when we are decluttering, whether it's items or our to do list or our clothing, a lot can happen for us where we might feel guilt that we bought all this stuff that we're not using. We might feel ashamed about that. We might feel like the sense of that you should be able to keep things cleaner and this shouldn't be happening to begin with. And all of those feelings and all those thoughts, they're actually what get you to the clutter to begin with because you try to solve the problem of feeling that way with more stuff, doing more things to create a sense of worthiness on your calendar, buying another thing to solve the problem of clutter. There's this saying that if you need to buy stuff to store your stuff, you have too much stuff. Now, I have a small house and I'm definitely guilty of having to buy stuff to store the stuff. But that really does, that's a great thing to consider is what is too much. Now, this is not a talk on minimalism or having less stuff, really, but that is kind of where we're going is rather than looking at the thing you're decluttering and starting to get down this rabbit hole of, I never use this. Will I ever use this? Should I have bought it? I shouldn't have spent the money. What am I going to do with it now? Learning to go inward into your energy in your own body system and get out of your head about it. Your mind is what led you to this to begin with. So whether the clutter is on your calendar or in a closet full of clothes that don't fit or a pantry full of food you're not eating or just like shoes all over the entryway, it's your mind that actually led you to be in this position. When we stop and think in our body, how does it feel to wear this clothing that I have? How does it feel on my body in my body system to have it? How does it feel in my body system to eat this food that I'm holding on to in my pantry that I've just bought and never ate? How does it feel in my body to walk in my home every day to this space? Does it create a sense of peace or does it create a sense of resentment and like chaos? What does it feel like to you? So, using your head to think through this decluttering process, it's your head, your mind, your ego self that got you to where you are to begin with. Your body, though, is storing the energy connection to all of the things, and it's giving you clues that your mind tries to get you out of feeling because it can be uncomfortable and also revealing, which brings up those uncomfortable mind thoughts again. So, as you're decluttering, my invitation to you is to get in your body about the decluttering. Hold the things that you're looking at, the things you're taking apart and putting back together again. Hold them in your hands and feel the energetic connection. How does that feel on a soul level to you? How does it feel in your body? Do you feel anxious looking at it? Do you feel good looking at it? Do you feel a sense of peace and calm and spaciousness? When you think about using the thing, whether it's clothing or food or bath product or kitchen stuff or just like, you know, decorations that you have strewn about, how does it feel to interact with those items? And rather than getting in your mind and asking the questions, why did I buy this? How much money did I spend on it? What do I do with it now? Just feel the relationship to the energy of the things that you're looking at and approach clearing anything in your life from this place of embodiment rather than the logical thought process that goes into figuring out, what got you here and what you're supposed to do now. I see this too when people try to read tarot or they want to manifest something or they want to create like a magical sacred space, really getting into their head about it. What's the right way forward rather than just feeling what do I already know about this? What do I know to be true? Because the answer is there. And that comes the ability to really do this and act quickly on it. This is exactly what we teach in our 5 eyes. Our This is our expansion framework, and it starts with intention and it leads to greater intuition, but it really starts with becoming intentional with yourself, your thoughts, your life, your values, who are you? And from there, your intuition naturally expands so that when you're making decisions and you're having these gut check moments and you're interacting with the world around you, you just naturally can feel like, what is the next right thing for me? And you trust to follow that feeling because you've been intentional with cultivating that within yourself. So, when you're doing your decluttering, again, with anything whatsoever, I want you to come back to your body. How does it feel in your body? What does your gut tell you? What do you already know to be true? And if you find that challenging, you're not alone. And it's because we're not taught to feel that way. We're not taught to think that way. And that's exactly why we teach it here at the Sisters Enchanted. As a former public school teacher myself, I can say 100% that we are actually taught the opposite of this, which is what makes it so challenging as an adult. So, there's nothing wrong with you if this feels hard. It's hard for most people, and for a reason. And we need to unlearn the things that we learned in order to feel this way, which is what we do in our 5 eye spiral, our expansion model. So if you have any interest in learning more about that, just let us know. We'll certainly give you the resources, tell you about the programs that we have open enrollment in that you can, dive into this and really bring it into your life. But for now, it just starts with this energetic connection. How does it feel looking around? How does it feel to hold these things? How does it feel to visualize yourself using them? And make your decluttering choices for your calendar, your food, your home, your clothing, everything from that perspective. And things things really will start to shift for you when you connect it back to your feelings, your body, your energy, and not so much about your mind, right? Not so much about your mind. Now, one of the things that I invited folks to do in this decluttering challenge so far to date, we've looked at our kitchen counters, and looking at that as sort of your like apothecary bench. The things you're doing on your kitchen counter breeds abundance and nourishment and love. Your bathroom or whatever room it is that you bathe in, this is like your place for inspiration and self care. And I did a cool Instagram story about this and the water and sacral energy center connection. So definitely check that out. But also your dry goods and the entryway into your home. And when we start to look at all of these things together, another piece of this puzzle where you get out of your head and think about, your energy and the energy of the space around you that you connect to is looking at your home and also yourself as these sacred spaces. So we will create sacred spaces, right? With crystals and tarot and candles and herbs and flowers and singing bowls and all this stuff, right? We create these little spaces. But realistically, the house that you live in, the things you put on your body, the things you consume, that's all adding to this energy in the space that you're always living in. So the same attention to detail that we can put into these little nooks and crannies of sacred space, how can we apply that same amount of love and care and attention to ourselves and to the greater home that you live in and create this like big, powerful energy of sacred space all the time? But that starts with, again, connecting to the energy of the things around you, getting in your body and out of your head about it. Because being in your head, if you feel like something's not in alignment in your home, the colors, the stuff, the things, the whatever, the messy closet, it's your headspace that got you there. Uh, and feeling is what will help you turn it back into a sacred space again. All right, short little podcast episode for you today, but to tack on to our decluttering challenge that we're doing, it's over on Instagram. If you're not on Instagram, we'll put the link in the comments. It's thesistersenchanted.com/links with an S, thesistersenchanted.com/links. If you go there, you can actually register for the declutter debrief, and that's where we are uploading. It's a living document. I'm adding all of the decluttering prompts. I just started stumbling all over my words. We're adding the decluttering prompts to that document every single day so that you have it to hold, if you don't want to lose the things on Instagram. But there's also a highlight on our Instagram page for declutter, and we're putting all the stories, videos, prompts right there as well. And that's a really great, easy way to access it. So even if you're listening to this a year from now and you stumble upon this episode, you will be able to find it on our highlights on Instagram. And again, if we can help you with any of this, like this idea of trusting yourself and being more intentional to grow your trust and your intuition and come back home to yourself again. We have space in our small group program where we're always talking about things like this, and we can actually help support you one-on-one. You get access to me one-on-one, you get access to the whole team of Sisters Enchanted, and also our hand-picked group of service providers in the form of intuitives, astrologers, life coaches, and you can book in with them to help guide you to wherever it is that you want to go. And it's a very small group. We're meeting in person in May, so it's a great time to register, get to know everybody, and decide if you're going to come to the event or not. But we'd love to have you in there. So if you need any support with any of this, let us know. We can give you the information. We also have our course which teaches this, all sorts of resources. So whatever your financial situation is and what you're able to commit, we've got things at all different levels. Just reach out, let us know, and we will point you in the right direction. And definitely follow along on Instagram for the Declutter Challenge happening right now. And thank you so much for listening in. We appreciate you being here, getting us to 700,000 podcast downloads. I still can't believe it. And until next time, I hope that you have an enchanted rest of your day ahead. If you liked this episode of the Expedition to Soul podcast, please rate, review, subscribe. If you're listening on Apple Podcasts, it will really help us spread everyday magic, intention, and intuition to the masses and helps us so much as a small business. Be sure to hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcasting platform so you never miss an episode. There are new episodes every Tuesday and astro forecasts for the week ahead every Friday. If there's any topics you'd want to hear, anything you want us to dive deeper into, shoot us an email at magic@thesistersenchanted.com. And as always, thank you so much for listening and being part of the community here at the Sisters Enchanted. And we'll see you in the next episode.